It was a time that would be known as New Hollywood, when desperate studios would realize that what they needed to recapture the youth market that they had lost was the product of that generation. The result was a string of directors whose names would be known across America: Steven Spielberg, Brian De Palma, Martin Scorsese, and dozens more. And among their number was George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola. The irony of those last two when it came to the name New Hollywood is the fact that they wanted to stay as far away from the ideas of Hollywood as they possibly could, to create a place where visionary films could be made. Their American zoetrope began with Coppola creating The Rain People. But even while assisting on that film, Lucas was already at work on his first motion picture, creating a feature-length version of his student film, THX 1138. While the world has spent years going on at great length about Lucas's failings as a writer, you need go no further than the man himself to hear harsh criticism of his skill with a pencil and paper. Lucas had to be pressured into doing writing, first by Coppola, who insisted that a good director needed to be able to write in order to do their job, and second by the realization that the only way a script would say what he wanted it to say was for Lucas to do it himself. After a great deal of hand-wringing, Lucas completed the script with help from an outside writer. Already Lucas was subtly striking out over Vietnam, as he gave one character lines taken from speeches by Richard Nixon. Once completed, Lucas, along with Coppola, presented it to Warner Brothers, the first of a 7-film deal. The executives balked at it. This was a film they simply could not understand, and in the face of that, and that The Rain People, although critically acclaimed and considered by some to be a pioneering work for feminism, had not been a hit, well, Warner Brothers was starting to think that this whole experiment was a mistake, and they pulled their support for future films, as well as chopping 4 minutes out of Lucas's film and giving it a rather lackluster release. The 4 minutes is what particularly rankled Lucas and would plant the seeds for his new direction in filmmaking. This experience could have made the two men very toxic in Hollywood, but they took the setback in stride and moved on to their next project. While still working on THX, Coppola had issued another challenge to Lucas, to again push him out of his comfort zone. This is what Lucas seemed to really need, actually. Others could see things in Lucas that he himself could not, potential that he wasn't releasing because he thought it was beyond him. Lucas liked camera work and editing. He liked avant-garde documentaries, and he believed that that was where his strengths lay. And yet his work would always belie that there was more to it, and him, than that. So Coppola challenged him. Use this vision of yours to reach the ordinary world. See if you can make a film like they want, but do it your way. Present the great American story, but as seen through the eyes of George Lucas. The film that Lucas created to meet this challenge was called American Graffiti. Now, this was not an easy journey. Lucas was broke, and THX had burned up a lot of capital with his reputation. That was not a bad film. It was just a film that many people could not understand. American Graffiti was a bit confusing as well. It bucked established filmmaking techniques in both its story and structure. But despite that, the film succeeded. This was a film about teenagers and hot rods, sprung from Lucas's experiences growing up. And this was really the first time that this thing inside of Lucas that other people could see now emerged. It was Lucas's ability to draw upon what tapped into the core of his love and experiences, and found a way through film to find that same place within his audience. He combined the ability to not only entice you with something you hadn't realized you were missing, but was doing so in a way that defied conventional filmmaking. The success of American Graffiti would be the launch point for Lucas's career, giving him the financial backing that he needed and the studio clout necessary to attempt the impossible, at least according to all conventional Hollywood wisdom. But Lucas was convinced that he needed to do a picture that had been percolating in his mind for some time now, something he hoped would give something to the upcoming generation that it was lacking.